Part 3. The Woman in Blue. The candle didn't burn out. It stayed lit through the night, steady and watchful on the windowsill. By morning, the wax hadn't dripped, the wick hadn't blackened. It just held, like it was waiting for her to do something more. Reyna didn't know how to name that kind of fire. She didn't touch the candle. She didn't unplug the mirror again. She didn't even eat. Instead, she sat cross-legged on the living room floor, replaying the Pt.3 audio file, listening to the voice again and again. Aletheia ain't never leave. Y'all left her. There was something layered beneath the words, like static, but not mechanical, like the sound of something brushing earth, or cloth being wrapped, or maybe breathing. That afternoon, Reyna left her apartment for the first time in 2 days. She needed answers. Mamie had a woman she used to see. Never called her a root worker, never said conjure out loud, but everyone knew. Miss Geneva lived over in Decatur, tended roses, and had 2 dead husbands, both still buried in the backyard. Reyna hadn't seen her since she was a child, but when she knocked on her door, Miss Geneva opened it before the 3rd knock. The old woman said, "You're late." Reyna blinked. "I didn't call." "You didn't need to. Sit down. You smell like crossed wires." Inside, the air was thick with camphor and old cedar. The walls were covered with faded photographs and hand-drawn sigils. On the kitchen table sat a chipped bowl of ash, a radio with no cord, and a bundle of red thread. Miss Geneva motioned for her to sit. "You heard her, didn't you?" she asked, pouring tea. "The one in blue." Reyna stiffened. "You know who she is?" Miss Geneva nodded. "I know what she was, and what she's still trying to be." She said Aletheia. That name, it's been everywhere. "Because she ain't finished yet." Reyna gripped her mug tighter. "What does that mean?" Miss Geneva leaned in. "Some women don't die, Reyna. They just step sideways. Wait for the blood to loop back around so they can finish their story." Outside, a breeze rattled the roses against the window. "You got her echo in you," Geneva continued. "Not just in your blood, in your code now, too." Geneva nodded. "That Pt.3 thing you did, it cracked a seal. Not theirs, hers. It pulled data the world tried to forget. Ancestors don't like being digitized. That ain't how memory works." Reyna swallowed. "Why is she showing up now?" "'Cause you're the first in a long time that could hear her, and because the circle was broken." Geneva reached beneath the table and pulled out a folded cloth. Inside was an old photograph, weather-worn, but clear. 4 women, standing in front of a wooden house, all in blue. One of them looked just like Reyna. "She's been trying to get back," Geneva said softly. "You're her key." Reyna left Miss Geneva's house with the photo wrapped in silk and a burning in her chest that had nothing to do with the Georgia heat. Aletheia wasn't haunting her. She was remembering through her. That night, Reyna lit the red candle again. This time, she placed it in the hallway outside her bedroom, the same spot where the mirror had flickered, where the hum had first dickened the air. She sat beside it, cross-legged, with the photo in her lap. The candlelight licked the edges of the faces, warming them into motion. Not literally, but Reyna could feel it. They were starting to speak. She closed her eyes and whispered the name again. Aletheia. The hallway filled with silence, then soft vibration. The hum. It rose, layered in rhythm now, like footsteps on hardwood floors. At the end of the hallway stood the woman in blue. She was tall, not towering, but complete. She wore a dress the color of dusk, her arms bare and scarred. Her head wrap was firm, her feet dusted with red clay. Her mouth moved slowly, but Reyna couldn't hear the words. She stood up, unsure if she was dreaming, unsure if it mattered. "Why me?" she asked. Aletheia blinked, Then she pointed to Reyna's wrist, where the faint circuit veins glowed. And she whispered, not aloud, but inside Reyna's own mouth. Whispered, not aloud, but inside Reyna's own mouth. Because you survived the upload. Reyna didn't understand, but she felt something break open in her chest, a door that had always been there, sealed shut with other people's expectations, algorithms, bloodlines, and error codes. Her vision blurred. Behind Aletheia, more figures began to take shape. Women, all in blue, all holding mirrors. They weren't ghosts. They weren't spirits. They were data that had refused deletion, history that refused erasure. And they had found her. Reyna reached out, and the hallway flickered. The candle blew itself out. But the light remained. Not electric, not ancestral, both.